Dude, I'm like over marketing BS in the online biz space. I'm walking around this lake near my house. There it is, by the way. There's a lot of ducks out and stuff today too. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and I just want to share some like really raw, honest thoughts with you guys. It's not going to be cohesive at all. So you'll have to bear with me in that. Also, check this out. Little face in the tree. Yeah, it's not going to be cohesive. These thoughts are not going to be packaged up perfectly or any of that shit. To be honest with you, the video is kind of about how I think that this space, the online business space, really lacks a lot of just raw, authentic humanity anymore. So it would kind of be silly for me to like package up this video all perfectly when like it's kind of the very thing that I'm trying to get at, is that I think there's too much of that and not enough realness. Like, I would rather just make a video hanging out by this lake near my house, showing you guys faces on trees and talking about my real, raw, honest thoughts without 5 bullet points or whatever. Like, I just want to share what's going on in my head. And I think hopefully this is not just relatable and resonant with a lot of you guys, but my hope is that at the end of this video, I can give you some paradigm shifts that might help you show up a little differently in your own business. And not just in a way that I think the world desperately needs. I think the world is calling us into a new level, a new way of being, a new level of humanity. And if we don't accept that calling, I don't want to use the phrase like we're going to get left behind. I hate that shit. Like, you're going to get left behind. Like, it's not like that. It's just like, it's more like if you actually want to have the impact that you want to have in the space that you're in, I think it will require stepping into some of the things that I'm going to talk about. And if you don't, I think you will lack resonance. You will not be as compelling. And quite frankly, I think a lot of the world is outgrowing some of these old ways of marketing and doing online business and all of this BS. And maybe this is just me. I mean, all of this is opinion. So take all of this with a grain of salt. I don't know everything. I'm not the end all be all. This is just my perspective. This is just how I'm seeing things. And some of the I have this internal conflict going on within me, this internal dichotomy around marketing and telling people about my stuff. And I'll get into that, but I just want to open with I just feel like the online business space is just so much BS. Like, I am sick of witnessing people outsource their voice and their message and their story to AI. I'm sick of people trying to be more palatable than they're trying to be real. I'm sick of people more concerned with the marketing strategies that they're executing than actually being a compelling person that's living a compelling life, that's impacting other people because of the realness and the connections that they share. I am just done with all of it. And I've started to do things a bit differently because of that. I have this really, to be honest, very uncomfortable internal conflict happening inside of me where I just don't want to market shit anymore. I don't want to shove down people's throats how many spots I have left or when enrollment's closing or that I'm launching. I don't want to do that. And at the same time, I really want people to know about what I'm up to in the world and how I can help them, because I am thinking about all these people that have come to me literally in tears, sharing about how the spaces that I've created, the work that I do has transformed their lives, their families, their relationships to themselves, their career paths. And I'm thinking about all these people and I'm like, dude, the world has to know about this. I literally, there are times I want to scream from the rooftops what I do and what I'm up to in the world and how I can help people, because I'm thinking about all those people. I'm thinking about all the testimonials that I have. I'm thinking about all the real lives that I've been able to come into, the connections that I've made with the people that I've been able to serve in ways that I know has deeply transformed the trajectory of their relationships and their career paths, etc. And then there's this other part of me that's I just am sick of trying to get people to see that though. like every part of me just wants to like create content like this and be like, you know what, the right people are gonna like experience my energy and be like, how can I go deeper with this person? And so honestly, that's what I'm leaning into. Like I'm not really gonna have like a CTA at the end of this video for like what you should do next. I think that stuff works. And I think if you're just getting started, maybe that's the direction that you do want to go in, because you need to, it's important to build an audience, and it's important to let them know the steps that they can take to go deeper with you. Like all of that stuff is super important. And at the same time, again, I have this, and I don't have the answers, by the way. Like I don't know what the solution is to me having this internal dichotomy inside of me of like wanting to scream from the rooftops what I do and how I can help people and how I've helped so many other people at some points, and then at other points not wanting to talk about it at all and just wanting to like self-express and share about the things that I'm into and the hobbies that I have. And so I'm really leaning into just a different way of doing that stuff, of marketing, if you will. And a lot of what I'm up to recently is just personal connections. Like I'm using energy as my compass. And so the way that I do that is I feel into, a lot of people are asking the question, what works? I want to ask the question, what feels most alive to me right now in this season? And from that question, I'm thinking of, okay, this idea feels most alive to me. This project feels most alive to me. This container that I want to bring to life feels most alive to me. Or this is the kind of way that I want to serve people. And from that point, having clarity around what's feeling most alive to me, I can then say, okay, now how can I use this thing that feels really alive to me to serve other people? But that doesn't come first. That actually comes next. And it's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle. And so a lot of what I'm up to is just feeling into what's exciting me, what's feeling fun, and then deciding to create that, and then doing personal invitations where I'm thinking through like, okay, here's this thing that I'm bringing to life that feels really exciting for me. Who do I think that this would actually serve based on the connections that have had recently, based on the people that I know are in my world and my audience, and who comes to mind that I think that this would actually serve and support and benefit in some way. And then I will personally invite them into this container. I'll say something like, hey, I am creating this thing. Here's what it's about. Here's what we'll be doing. I know we talked about something similar a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago or last year. And I just think this would really benefit you. And I think you're a cool person. I'd love to have you in this space. There's zero pressure from me. I just want you to know that you were thought of. And if you happen to want more info on it, just let me know and I'll send it over to you. And I am loving that. I am loving that, you guys, because it's less like having to publicly shove stuff down people's throats and more like, this is what I want to do and this is who I think it would serve. Let me just invite them. And so maybe you consider something like that. But let me preface with, this would only work if you are actually in connections with real human beings. This would only work if you've actually started building an audience. It would only work if you've had conversations that when you end up creating the thing that feels really exciting and alive to you, that conversation could come back up in your mind to be like, actually, I think this would actually benefit this person because we just talked about that a couple months ago. And again, energy first, that needs to be your compass. Like what's actually going to be exciting for you to fulfill and deliver. Because if it's not, it won't be sustainable and you'll just create misery in your life in other ways. But after that, who would this actually benefit and support? And then personally invite them. I think it goes such a long way to also leave videos. Like I've left a lot of videos and voice notes for people because they hear my heart. They hear that this is just something that I deeply believe in and I'm really excited about. And I just genuinely think that they'd be a great fit for the space. And so that's kind of what I'm leaning into recently. And I guess what I wanted to give you guys is like thinking of ways that if you're in a space, if you're anything like me, where you're in a space where you're like, dude, I am just sick of some of the marketing BS out there and like trying to model other coaches and creators and the strategies that they're using and all of that BS. Like, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Like, the world is your oyster. This whole thing is a playground. You get to explore this, you get to enjoy it. It gets to be uniquely yours. And if you're living a life in the energy of I'm just doing me and I'm inviting people to experience that, I'm telling you, you will create such a strong pull that you don't have to push, you don't have to pressure, you don't have to convince anyone into anything. Like, I genuinely do not push or pressure or convince. It is not my style, it never will be. I refuse to ever be in that energy. What energy I choose to step into is magnetism, from a place of having such a strong pull because I'm living a life that is fulfilling to me, and I'm always looking for what's feeling alive, what's feeling exciting, how do I move closer and closer to that. And I just want to invite you guys to think about that stuff. Like, if you're just asking the question, what works, you may miss out on what's alive, what is actually feeling fun and exciting for you in this season. And that might change next season. It might change the season after that. That's totally fine. Be open to the possibility of this changing and evolving over time. But it's really important that you don't just ask what works, that you ask what works for me, based on what's feeling alive most for me right now. And maybe you lean into a different way of marketing. I looked around me when I was first getting started in coaching, saw all these wellness girlies sitting like this with their eyes closed in their photos. And I tried to model a lot of that at first. And then I was like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't really me. And the more I've just leaned into what feels authentically me, what feels like the truest expression of the Micah that like grew up as this edgy little skater chick in Kentucky, the more I've leaned into that, the more people have come into my world being like, how can I work with you? It's insane. I'm like, is this what the world has wanted all along? Is this the truest expression of me? Answer is yes. That is what the world wants. The world just wants the truest expression of you because no one else on the planet has the ability to give us that. You are our only hope for us to experience the truest expression of you. And that is the greatest gift that you could give to the world. So my plea with you is to please give us the truest expression of who you are in everything that you do, in every piece of content that you make, in every program or container that you create, in every conversation that you have. Give it to us. We want it. We're here for it. We're ready for it. I think that's all that I have to share. I told you guys I wouldn't give you a CTA, but if you want to connect more with me on Instagram or any of that stuff, I'll throw all that in the description. Hopefully this is giving you some stuff to chew on, maybe different ways of approaching online biz and all the marketing stuff out there, and gives you a different way to do things. And maybe more than anything, I just hope to give you a big old permission slip to do you, to do things your way, to create the marketing strategy that's actually going to feel fun for you and not just like another marketing bullshit campaign that nobody wants to hear and experience, and to give you the permission slip to just feel into what's feeling alive and follow that. Sending y'all love.